Well, here we go. Getting ready for another really interesting matchup for us. New team, new coach, local coach in Doug, but new team to learn and to study and all that. So it's a big challenge for us. See a lot of really potent football players, man. They got guys in a lot of great spots. They're loaded up in a place where they can make plays, and it's been fascinating to watch the quarterback come into the league and do such a great job. It's a hard thing to do, and he's doing it in great fashion. And so we got a great matchup, and we're anxious to be back home again, and looking forward to building up a great week's preparation.
Pete, you guys made some roster moves. What was behind the decision to let Kristen Michael go?
Well, I like the mix. It's really about the guys coming in to the opportunity. CJ did a really good job. He's doing the things that we like seeing in him. We look forward to continuing to grow with him. That's one. Tom is coming back ready to play. That's two, and we're really excited about that. We've all been waiting to see that happen. He has to have get through the week and all, but he's really in great shape and ready to go. So we anticipate that he'll play and will be significantly involved. And we really have liked Pope from the time we had him. We missed out on getting him back when we had to release him at camp, and we're disappointed in that. And so now that we got him back and he's in the fold, we're anxious to see what he can do. And so that's why we did that. Otherwise, we also were trying to upgrade our pass rush a little bit. We think we can get a little bit more out of John Jenkins, and we're anxious to see what he can do for us, and we'll see how that works out.
What have you seen in the way Kristen Michael has been running?
He's been busting his tail the whole time he's been there. Everything we've said about him has been true and real, and he's made a great comeback with us. And he was kind of like the only guy there for a while, and we're really grateful to the play that he gave us. He's a good kid.
If CJ had not impressed like he did running the ball Sunday night, would you have made this move?
I don't think we could even talk about that, really. He did, and he did kind of like we had hoped, and the quick emergence is really exciting. He's coming up and doing stuff. You can see how he's capable. So that's really just about that.
You've talked in the past about rookies kind of coming along slow and then really contributing later in the season. That he's kind of the obvious one, but are we getting to the point of the year that maybe you see a lot of the young guys start to do more?
Well, this is the turn. Just to give you an example, George Fant didn't have a missed assignment in this game, and that's a big improvement for him. And it's hard for anybody to do that at any position. So that's not that he's going to never miss an assignment again, but he made it through the game, in that regard. So that's the kind of improvement and the stuff that you can count on, seeing as these guys keep playing. A few weeks ago, that wasn't the case, and Jermaine's doing better too, and Nick's feeling more comfortable playing, and so all of those guys, we're getting the benefits of the experience that they have gained so far.
You mentioned at SC, it was at SC that you started being okay playing the young guys. Did you realize right away that it would be kind of that transition, or did it take time?
No, I didn't know that. It really kind of came around to our thinking after looking back and how well we had played in the second half of the seasons, and we had finished pretty well in those years, and we tried to figure out, why we were strong at the end of the year and all that. And we kind of attributed that was part of the factor.
What have you seen from Peterson's offense and how they run things, and what do you expect to see from them?
Yeah, they the concepts that guys get the opportunity to choose the concepts they want to put out, and they've got a variety of good runs style wise. They utilize the quarterback enough to give you the concern coming off the run fakes out of the shotgun. They have a variety of runners that they use that are really good and show that they fit. They have a good average per carry, with their group. The passing game is really they've chosen the good hard stuff to deal with and nice concepts and all of that. So we see a really well designed conceptual attack with a quarterback that can make all the throws and running backs that can break plays and all that. They've got a big wide receiver. They've got a couple fast guys. They've got 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends that can play and run routes and do things for you. So it's just a good group, and their offensive line is really solid and with experience. So it's just a good group in general. So there's no easy spots there to deal with.
What are your impressions of Carson Wentz?
That he's totally equipped to play. I mean, he's not just. They're not they haven't had to simplify it to the point where they would take it down a notch for a rookie. He's able to make checks and kill calls and do stuff, change plays one side or the other. He's dealing with protections. He can throw a variety of throws. He can run well. He's a good athlete. Can make good decisions in space and stuff like that. Knows how to do that. Throws well in the run. So he's a really good player, and he's going to be a great player, and as he just gains the experience.
During that pre-draft process, how do you guys approach scouting some of the top quarterbacks, given that you've had Russell? I mean, do you spend a lot of time still watching those guys?
Yeah, well, just through the routine of it, maybe not as much as the team that's picking in the first five. Of course, their whole draft depends on that. There's knowledge that we wouldn't likely have, but we go through the discipline of it to make sure, because you never know when things happen and guys fall, and something could turn up late in the draft process and all of that. So we have to be ready. We don't want to get caught with not doing our work. So we do a full investigation into the guys, and as much as we can to figure out what's happening.
How do you look at Wentz's first year now compared to, say, Russell's first year as a rookie quarterback?
He may have started faster. Those first 3 games they get out of the chutes, and he was. I think he had 3 games in a row over 100, and QB ratings, and I don't think he had a pick in the first 3 or 4 games or something. He just started really fast, and he's had to battle. They've had some issues on the road that they fought through, and he's played well despite those. But I think he shows you the same kind of capabilities. He's got the same kind of awareness and leadership, and looks like the mentality that there's no question that he can play now and be effective. I'm sure they're thinking they're going to go for their division. They're going to try to win the thing, and with that young guy at quarterback, because they can believe in him. You can see all the reasons why. So I think it's very similar.
Pete, what kind of problems does Brandon Graham kind of provide potentially for?
He's on fire. He's got such a great motor, as well as the savvy and the knack and stuff. But he's got a big motor now, and he's really playing hard this year. And he's just it's so obvious when you watch the film that he's causing problems. So we got issues there.
Why was there no place for Christian Michael in a supporting spot role or backup role?
We're going with the other guys. Really, I already told you, we're going with the guys that we wanted to go with, and we're excited about where we're moving, and I think it's going to fit together really well. We'll find out. You'll have your chance to say what you think here in a couple weeks. We'll see how it goes.
Cam was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. I guess coming up with that effort in his first game back after missing a month, just what's that say about him and his preparation?
Yeah, we've seen Cam come back before from injuries. This was by far he just lit it up in the week of practice. He was so physically right. He was really lean and fast, during the week, and his legs were fresh. You could just tell that he was really ready and primed to go, and it carried right into the game. He played a terrific football game. Getting after the football a couple times, really huge, and the tackles that he made, the coverage challenges that he had, and those guys are good, man. They're just good at throwing and catching, and he was all over guys, and he played a very competitive game with some big plays, and to add to it, and it gives him a chance to be recognized like that. So
that play in the first quarter in the end zone where he was called for pass interference, and then to end it with that play against Gronkowski in the fourth quarter in the opposite end zone, I guess. Does that say something about his just kind of resilience, or his sort of?
That's about his confidence. His confidence that he's had a plan for how he wanted to play it, and throughout the game, and he didn't waver from it. He stayed in the challenge mode, throughout, because he had a PI or they caught a ball in the sidelines or whatever. He knew he was doing the right stuff. He was all over the routes. To be that close to get PI, you got to be all over the guy, and so he believed in the preparation and he went with it, and when it came right down to the end of it, he was right on the money.
What did you think when you heard Gronkowski had the lung thing and that he played?
Well, particularly after I spent about 5 minutes in here talking about how wonderful the play was and the hit and how safe it was, I was, I'm glad to hear he's okay. I'm glad to hear he's fine.
On that topic a little bit, Cam, coming around the tackle, if he's going to try to make a sack, he has no choice but to hit Brady around the knee. Is this another example of the problems that defenses face? How do you coach that?
He was bearing down. He's bearing down, and he sees the blocker, and so he gets as much force and body lean as he can to get through the block, and there wasn't much contact made there, so he kind of he stumbled into it. So it was just unfortunate, and fortunately, Tom didn't get hurt by that, because that was a pretty difficult hit right there. But it was really, he's digging in to make sure he can turn the corner, and he's counting on having to play off the block, and there just wasn't much contact, so he just came flying in, and so, you know, it's good everybody came out of that okay.
Is that almost an impossible thing to ask about
Yeah, stuff like that happens all the time, though. You know, it's not by intent at all. It just happens. We have hits now that happen. Guys are trying to get to the ball, and their helmet makes contact, you know, illegally, and there's no intent. There's really, at times, no other way to avoid it, but you're still in the illegal area, you know, of it, and so so they got to call, and we just have to live with those, you know, and try to do better.
Pete, how comfortable are you playing C.J. Procise at wide receiver? And is there a chance that we could see him and Thomas on the field together?
No, I wouldn't feel very comfortable with that thought. What do you want me to tell you the game plan? No, that's probably not happening.
Does Thomas sort of return as the starter if he comes back healthy, or who?
We're going to get him back first. Let's get him back, get him going, and make sure he's ready to roll and all that, and we'll figure that out in time. I'm not worried about that a bit. If he makes it through the week, he's going to play considerably because he's in great shape and he's ready to do that. But we're not going to overplay him or try to take it too far too soon.
Expect Luke Wilson back?
Yes. There's no way Luke's not getting back this week.
How about Bradley Sowell?
He is ready to compete to be back too. We thought so maybe last week, but didn't quite show up. But now going into this week, we're seeing him as Luke, that those guys are now primed and ready to come back. So how that fits together, you got to wait and see on that one. We don't know either at this time, but we're pleased to get him back out there.
Did you meet with Michael Bennett yesterday, and what's his kind of timeline prognosis?
Yeah, well, Mike's really optimistic about it. He thinks things are going great, and the trainers do as well. He's trying to shoot for the next game, and we'll see what happens. And we won't rush him back. You know, we'll do what we need to do to make sure he's well and right and all that. And if he can prove that to himself and to us, then maybe it is next week. I don't know. He's really making a great comeback, though.
On Sowell,
it's only 2 weeks, I think, today. From the surgery, so.
On Sowell and Fant, I mean, does that just become kind of an open competition then, or do you? I mean, is the way George?
It's always, yeah, it'll always be about the competition. George has done a really good job with his opportunity, and Bradley was doing fine when he was playing. So we'll figure that out as we go.
But Kevin Pierre-Louis?
He's got a hamstring, yeah, and he'll miss this week, I believe.
Have you seen Tyler Lockett make a leap here in the past couple of
There's
weeks?
no question. Yeah, he's finally back and running fast and confident and able to practice at a high level too all the time. He's played through some stuff. He wasn't quite 100%, but yeah, you can see him. He's flying again.
More than other teams, the Eagles' special teams seem to be something that they excel at more than other teams.
That's a good observation. We think they're as good as anybody we played. We think they're really good and well schemed and all that, but they have players in their core group that really play hard and aggressive and tough and effective, and we've already recognized that and taken that into account. So it's going to be a great matchup. Our guys play well too, and then we had a really good group also, but these guys are going to call on us to be at our best.
What stands out about their defense?
The front four guys were really good, all the way across the board. Fletcher's a terrific player. Benny Logan can play. Barwin, and we talked about the other guy. They're all really loaded up, and they bring the heat. Their style, Coach Schwartz really has always been a guy that has his guys come off the football and kind of rush the passer first and really attack you. So that's what really jumps out, is they're very good up front.
Are you seeing anything kind of similar in Russell now versus what he did in the second half last year when he kind of took off?
Yeah, I think he's really ready to be in that mode. I think there's nothing to hold him back from this point. He's really ready to go. He's in sync with everybody. Had an incredible game last week and did a great job moving like we like to see him. He's ready to roll, yeah.
With injuries, I hear frequently say, well, we're being real cautious with this. We want to make sure they're back. Did you develop that philosophy because of anything you noted, or?
We developed that philosophy comes out of the thought of we'll do what's best for these guys and help them be the best they can be and taking care of them and looking after them, and, being the dad, don't put them in harm's way, We're trying to figure that out at all times, and if you really care about people, then you make choices that are what's best for them, and sometimes that's for them not to play, and then there's times when we challenge guys too, for different reasons, but that's what that comes from. It comes from the base thought.
What is it about Tremaine Pope that intrigues you, and since you've got him back, what have you seen?
Yeah, he's got great feet. He's so quick and so instinctive. He showed that throughout camp and in the game opportunities that he had. We thought we might be able to slip him through, and it didn't happen when we released him. Some other people had seen him on film too. But he's really instinctive and really natural. He's got excellent quickness. He runs. He's like a lot like Justin Forsett, a guy that we all liked around here and has had a great career, about the same size and same kind of movements and instincts and stuff. He's got a really good style to him. And I like because he's different than the other guys. We're not all of our guys are real uniquely different.
Besides being error-free, was there anything else about Fant's game, especially in the physical matchups that you saw?
He's really we're really excited about that. He's doing about as well as we could expect right now. For his understanding and his experience, and so we know that he's really applying himself. He's achieving at a high level, and he can get just measures better as we move down the road here. So we're really excited about what he's done.
A little over halfway through the season, how impressive is what Justin Britt has done moving to center?
Yeah, it's kind of gone unspoken, that he's played really good, and he's done a really good job of commanding and captaining the front. He just looks like he's a natural playing the position. He loves playing center. He's doing a really good job. I don't know if you guys caught him, but downfield on second level blocks and out on the perimeter, he's really good at it, and it's just been a great move for us. We've just been very fortunate that it worked out like it did.
Anything else? Thank you.
You got it.